Was Noah the first climate change activist? As it was in the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Does Noah's Ark reveal clues to the book of Revelation and the end times? Let's look at the details of Noah's flood and the ark in typology. Read Genesis chapters 6 through 10, then listen to this video. First, Noah is a type of Jesus. He's perfect. He's the father of mankind after the flood. He drinks the wine and becomes naked, like Jesus drinks the cup and becomes naked on the cross, and so on. The animals are a type of people of all nations. Remember Peter's vision in Acts chapter 10? The animals were brought to Noah, like Eve the bride was brought to Adam, or a type of Jesus. And Christians are drawn to Jesus by the Father, John 6, verse 44. The ark was made of wood, and I'm sure nails, and was covered in pitch. That's another word for tar. Jesus' cross was wood and nails, and covered in his blood. I looked up pitch in Hebrew. It also means ransom. Now read Mark 10, verse 45. Jesus paid our ransom on the cross. The Tower of Babel was made of bricks and slime. That's another word used for tar. Think of Jesus' coagulated, reddish-black blood like slime on his cross. Babel is a type of works, or the cross and the ark is a type of faith. All inside the ark were covered and paid for by Jesus' sacrifice. The ark has one door, which is Jesus, in John 10, verse 9. It has 3 levels. Paul talked about the third heaven in 2 Corinthians 12, verse 2. It has a window for light. Jesus is the light, John 8, verse 12. The ark has many rooms, like heaven has many mansions or rooms. The ark is a boat, and boats have ribs for strength. More on that later. Genesis chapter 7, verse 1, God says to Noah, "Come into the ark." Jesus says, "Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Noah means rest and comfort. They were told to come into the ark 7 days before the rain started. Popular belief is the door was shut for 7 days, but it doesn't say that. I believe it took 7 days to get all the animals, a type of people, on board before the destruction came. Could this represent the door of salvation has been opened since creation? 1 day is as 1,000 years, so 7 days or 7,000 years. Then day 8 is a new heaven and earth. This repeats in the book of Revelation. There's more in Genesis, but let's look at Revelation 4 and also the Tabernacle of Moses. In Revelation 4, there is a door open, and John was told to come up, like Noah in Genesis 7 was told to come in. We see a throne, a rainbow, and 24 elders. We have thunder, lightning, and they hear voices. There is also a sea of glass and beasts around the throne. Did you catch the parallels? We are told the rain comes from the deep or ground and from the windows of heaven, from above and below. There would have been thunder and lightning and wind, people screaming, and a sea around the ark. There were beasts inside the ark and a rainbow covenant later. What about the 24 elders? That's the 24 ribs around the heart, God's throne inside our temple body. The ark is a boat, and boats have ribs for strength and protection. The door in Revelation is Jesus' side being pierced. Jesus made a covenant with us, and he also made one with Noah, and the rainbow was the sign. Now let's look at the tabernacle of Moses. It has 3 parts. The ark has 3 levels. Our body has 3 segments: the head, the trunk, and our limbs. There is a throne, and it has a rainbow covering of animal skins. It is surrounded by a covering supported by pole-like ribs, like the ark has ribs, and the pitch or tar covering. There is one door where animals are brought and their blood is shed, as a type of Jesus being the only way. There is a candlestick for light and a table of bread for food. The ark had food for all those on board. There is a bronze laver before the throne, a type of sea. This laver was made of mirrors, like a sea of glass. Those looking into it had to reflect God's image. There was also a sea of Israelites camped around the tabernacle in what is said to be in the shape of a cross. The book of Revelation is laid out using temple typology. Always keep that in mind when studying it. In chapter 1, Jesus is at the candlestick. Then in chapter 4, we see the door. And in chapter 5, we see the Lamb as the only one worthy. Starting in chapter 6 onward, we see the floods of destruction from above and below. The 4 horses are from the earth below, and in chapters 7 through 8, we see winds blowing and destruction coming from the altar. There is fire and hail, thunder and lightning, like Noah's flood. In Genesis 7, verse 24, the waters prevailed 150 days. That's 5 months. In Revelation 9, we have the pit or the deep opened, and locusts come to torment men 5 months, or 150 days. We see the storm from above and below. Revelation 9:15, a time frame is given as an hour, a day, a month, and a year. Noah was on the ark a little over a year. In chapter 10, we have a rainbow and more thunders and destruction. Then over in Revelation 16, we have the plagues being poured out from above. Then in Revelation 19, Jesus takes his bride up, like Jesus said, "If I be lifted up, he would draw all men to him." All those inside Jesus, the Ark temple, are saved. The world left below in Revelation 20 is destroyed. Now the millennium is confusing, where Satan is loosed a little while. I'm still working on that. But Jesus comes back after the 1,000 years and creates a new heaven and earth. In Genesis 8:13, Noah removes the covering of the ark and sees the face of the ground. Adam came from the ground and is the type of Jesus. In Revelation 22, verse 4, his bride sees his face. Could this be like a bride's veil being removed, like Noah removed the covering? Adam and Eve are married on the 6th day, then rested the 7th day, or the 1,000-year type, in Genesis 2 through 3. Satan then deceived Eve, and his doom was prophesied, and so was her salvation prophesied. Could this be a type of the end of the millennium? This time the pattern ends with Satan's destruction, and Jesus, the second Adam, lives happily ever after with Eve, the church bride.